Hello my friends, welcome to Pro Strings. I'm Henriette and today is day 15 of the Virtual Violin Practice Playalong. Lovely to see you here today. Today we're going to strengthen our neck muscles even more. We're going to practice our martelé bowing and drive the progress a little bit further forward with that. Then we're going to practice our left hand exercises and we're going to do our improvisation again. So the improvisation has now moved really forward since the last couple of lessons and it gets very exciting today. So make sure you watch this video right through to the end. So let's get all your things together and let's get started. So let's get tuned up first. Here is your A. And here is E. Your D string. And your G string. Now let's practice tuning your strings in double stops. So let's get this lesson started today with just your violin. So put your bow down. And then we're going to think about this button here again, and that button should come into this little dent in your neck first. And now I want you to slide the violin to the left side, over your collarbone, until your jaw is right above the chin rest. So your violin's really close to your ear. I want you to check now that your violin's not too far up and neither is it down. It should be just a little bit about horizontal like that. So if you have a ping pong ball and you put it here, it will very slowly roll this way. It won't smash you in the face because then you'd have it too high, and it won't roll off the other side either because that's when you have your violin too low. Now once you've got it in the right position, just hold it with your jaw there and let's see if you can balance the violin with no hands. Can you touch your hands in front? Can you touch your hands behind your back? Lovely. Make sure to adjust it if that is feeling very, very loose. Okay. Can you put both hands on your head? Can you put both hands on your head this way perhaps as well? Still holding it all right? Can you touch both knees? There we go. No, then you've got a pretty good violin hold, don't you? Let's see if we can build some stamina now, shall we? Place it in a comfortable position. And we're going to count back from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ooh, that's very strong now. Well done. Very, very good. So let's pick up your bow. And you may remember a couple of lessons ago we were practicing the martelé bowing. We were first exploring the springiness in that bow. Can you remember? And then we were playing from the middle of the bow, letting go of that spring and putting the pressure back on. So will you practice that with me on the D string? And we're just going to play a whole lot of martelate bow strokes, and I want you to experiment with pressing the string harder and then suddenly let it spring loose, or making that release more gradual. And I want you to listen out what the difference in sound is. So we're going to go on the D string, in the middle of the bow roughly, putting the squeeze on, and then let go, off you go. Putting the squeeze back on. Now let's try and release that squeezing a little bit more slowly. So you go more like this. And put it gently on. Gently. Still squeezing it a bit. Okay. And now let's squeeze it a lot harder and then suddenly have that explosion of release. And putting it back on very hard. Explode. And explode. And when you hear that you explode, your notes should start with a little kick. You can perhaps hear that. Yes! Now, when you do that and you have a lot of pressure squeezing the bow, you have to suddenly move the bow as well so that you don't explode and then stay almost in place, because that is going to be very screechy. Okay, so when you explode and let go of that squeezing, at the same time, start your bow moving and put it back on again. Now time it just right if you can. That's it. And you will find that some of them are really crisp and clean, and others are just a little bit more screechy, perhaps a little bit crunchy here and there. That will come over time. Your hit rate of getting those really clean ones will go up. So we'll come back to that another day and practice it again, shall we? Let's now put our bow away and we're going to practice some left hand polishing. So let's use the A string for this, and let's put fingers 1 and 2 on the A string. And now I want you to pretend that this string is a little bit messy and you're just going to polish it there, opening up that gap here. You may remember we were looking at that the other day, and your index finger is made in such a way that you can very easily go this way, and that is what you do here. You open up that gap. That's it. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, now let's polish the second finger. So let's put the third finger down on the A string, and my second finger is polishing. There, make sure your thumb is upright and it's nice and soft here as well. So let's do a bit more polishing. There's your second finger. That's nice. That's a good feeling when that goes, doesn't it? Alright, now let's put your fourth finger down and polish the third finger. That gets a bit more tricky perhaps, doesn't it? Lovely. Now let's put your third finger down and polish the fourth finger behind it. Very good. Doesn't matter if that slips a little bit. You still get your practice out of it, don't you? Awesome. Very nice. Let's pick up your bow now. And next we will play an A major scale. And we're going to play the A major scale all the way from the low A. So we're going to go right here, first finger on the G string. Then mind that this scale has got a raised third finger. So you've got a gap between fingers 1 and 2 and also a gap between fingers 2 and 3. And then you do the same finger pattern on the D string. But once you get onto the A string, your third finger is close. And here on the E string, your third finger is close as well. So we've got what I call a wide, wide, close, close finger pattern. And I'm talking about the third fingers here. So let's play every note of the scale twice with a martelé bow stroke. So we're going to go super slow because you've got everything together now. You've got to think about your finger pattern and you've also got to think about the martelé bowing, that squeezing and releasing. So when you're ready, after 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pinky. That was really good concentration, well done. So you get a lot of practice this way, don't you? You've noticed I play the fourth finger at the top of a scale if I can, just to give that poor pinky, that is so thin and so has such little muscles, just to give it a little bit more practice there. So next up we're going to play an A arpeggio and we're going to find that floaty feeling again that we had before in earlier lessons. So we're no longer doing the martelé bow stroke, but you're getting your straight bows back again and a swinging bow arm. Now this arpeggio is also going to be a long A major arpeggio, so we're starting here on the G string, 1, 3, 1 on the D string, and then our normal arpeggio A, 2, E, 3. Let's just revise our nice stance as well before we do that. So step forward with your left foot a little bit. Drop your shoulders down. Now we've got incorporated all of those old techniques as well, you remember. After 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's repeat that and get even better at it, shall we? Drop your shoulders down and... Lovely. And now it is time for our improvisation. Now, we have deliberately made the A major scale a bit longer today. And we're still going to play our improvisation today in the key of A major, but you are now free to try the lower octave of the A scale as well. So we've got a hugely wide range now, all the way from the first finger on the G string to the third finger on the E string. So I'm hoping we're making some use of that. So we're going to do some copycatting again today. So I play you something, can you play it after me? We're still sticking to our 4 bars of 2 beats, so our 8 beats altogether, length of improvisation, but we're expanding our range now. So follow me very closely and see if you can find out whether I am using scale passages or arpeggio patterns. So I'm actually going to start right at the bottom here, okay? I can't wait to hear now from you how you were doing on that one, because it gets a bit more complicated because simply you've got more notes to choose from, don't you? Shall we just practice it again? So this time I'm going to do another one. We're just practicing it all the time, and I'm going to start on this middle A. On the middle A, so that is the open A string. I am very impressed if you got that one, because it got a little bit difficult there at some point, didn't it? So if you didn't quite make it, that is okay. I'll make it a little bit easier for you this time, okay? Now this time I'm going to start at the top of the scale. So I'm starting here, 3 fingers on the E string. Are you ready? Was that a bit easier for you? I hope it was. Okay, so now I was using just that top octave again, wasn't I? This time we're going to use the lower octave only, okay? So we'll still limit the range a little bit of where we're playing. The lower octave from the first finger on the G string to the open A string or the 4th finger on the D string. Now, am I playing scale patterns or arpeggio patterns? Can you work it out? Well done. Well done for sticking with me all this time, and well done for just having a go. So please, please, please write a little bit in the comment section so you can tell me whether you managed it or whether it was a bit too tricky today. And either way is fine. So we're going to do a little bit more improvising, of course, in the next lesson, in day 16. So don't worry if you didn't quite make it today. However, if you did, congratulations. And we're going to make it a little bit more difficult in the next lesson. So now that you're properly warmed up, please get all your normal music out and practice your normal violin stuff, your scales, your arpeggios, your etudes, everything that your own teacher has said to you. And I very much look forward to seeing you in day 16. Goodbye.